The man who walked out of Alcatraz. In the middle of San Francisco Bay sits a small island. Cold water surrounds it. Strong currents move day and night. The water temperature is near freezing. On this island stood one of the most feared prisons in history. Alcatraz. The prison was designed for men who caused trouble in other prisons. The guards believed one thing: no one escapes from Alcatraz. For years they were right. Until 1962. One of the prisoners was a quiet man named Frank Morris. He was not violent. He was not loud. But he was extremely intelligent. Frank had spent most of his life in institutions. Orphanages, juvenile centers, prisons. He studied everything around him. He noticed small details other people ignored. His cell looked normal. A bed, a sink, a toilet, and a vent in the wall. The vent was covered by a metal grill. The guards believed it was solid concrete behind it. But Frank discovered something important. The concrete around the vent had been damaged by years of moisture and salt air. Every night after lights out, Frank began to work. He did not have tools, so he made them. He used a spoon from the dining hall. He sharpened it on the concrete floor. Then he slowly scraped the wall around the vent. He worked for months. To hide the noise, the prisoners played music during the evening hour. Frank worked while the band played. Soon 2 brothers joined him: John Anglin and Clarence Anglin. Their cells were next to his. They also began digging. Piece by piece, the concrete came loose. They hid the dust inside their pants and released it in the yard during exercise. But they had another problem: night bed checks. Guards walked past each cell to make sure prisoners were sleeping. So Frank had an idea. He created the faces using art supplies from the prison hobby shop. They even glued real human hair from the prison barber floor. Every night, they placed the fake heads on their pillows. In the dark, the guards saw what looked like sleeping prisoners. Behind their cells, there was a narrow utility corridor. The men crawled into it after widening the vents. But escaping the building was only half the problem. They were still on an island. Swimming was almost impossible. The water was too cold. Most people would survive less than 20 minutes. So they built a raft. Inside the prison, they collected over 50 raincoats. They stitched them together using thread pulled from prison uniforms. Then they sealed the seams using heat from steam pipes. They also made life jackets. They worked at night, quietly, carefully, for more than 6 months. Finally, June 11, 1962 arrived. The prison went dark. The guards made their rounds. The fake heads rested on the pillows. After midnight, Frank and the Anglin brothers climbed through the vents. They crawled up pipes to the roof. They crossed the prison building. They slid down a kitchen pipe to the ground. No alarm sounded. They reached the shoreline. They inflated the raft using a small concertina instrument as a pump. Then they pushed into the black water of the bay. That was the last confirmed sighting of them. Morning came. A guard entered the cell. He noticed something strange. He touched the head on the pillow. It rolled onto the floor and broke apart. The alarm finally sounded. Boats searched the water. Helicopters scanned the bay. The FBI investigated for years. They found pieces of the raft. They found a paddle. But they never found the bodies. Officially, the case says the men drowned. But many investigators are not sure. The Anglin family later received letters. There were photographs of two men in Brazil who looked very familiar. To this day, the FBI cannot prove whether they lived or died. Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers may have done the impossible. They may have escaped the most secure prison in America. And if they survived the cold waters that night, they walked away from Alcatraz forever.